Today we are taking a neighborhood tour of Durham Farms here in Hendersonville, Tennessee. We're going to be talking about things like amenities, HOA fees, property taxes, the builders that are building here, what's nearby, what's there to do here, and more. I am sitting on one of these swings that I've talked about a few times in my previous home tour videos, but this is the first time I'm actually getting one on video, so now you can see what they actually look like. Please stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to be doing an in-depth look at the stuff that's nearby. We're going to see how far away downtown is, the airport, the nearest grocery store, and that kind of stuff. Please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel and like this video if you get something out of it. It helps me gauge the types of things that my viewers want to see, and it keeps me motivated to keep on making more stuff like this. My name is Darren A. Wilson. I'm a realtor here in the state of Tennessee. Let's go ahead and get started with the tour.
Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a bird's eye view of what Durham Farms looks like, and you can see this little egg-shaped thing right here. That's the village green, and this is also where the farmhouse is located. This is sort of like the central part. You'll probably drive around Azalea Circle a lot, and this little roundabout right here. This is where the daycare Lightbridge Academy is at. And you'll notice too that this sort of points out all the different little parks, these sort of like mini parks, which I have some footage of some of these things, which you'll see in just a minute. You also have trails, you have the Veterans Walk. These are the the famed swings I keep on talking about. They also have this bark park as well. It's a dog park. They hold events on the village green in this sort of like center section right here quite often as well. So there's a lot going on in this community all the time. This will become a common sight for you as you pull into the primary entrance into Durham Farms, and you'll notice here that the sidewalks are really well kept, and it's like this all around Durham Farms. The sidewalks go in front of virtually all of the houses and around Azalea Circle, which is where the farmhouse is located. They also connect to the other trails as well. And one thing that you'll notice about some of the homes, though not all of them, just the ones on the main bigger streets in Durham Farms, is that they actually have their garage doors located in the back of the homes. There are alleyways for each one of these rows of homes, and that's how you access the garage. Now that's not like that, you'll see in a second. There are plenty of homes that also have them in the front, sort of like a normal style, but there's also these parking spaces out front of the homes that are on some of those more main streets. Now this is a shot of some of those homes with the garage doors in the front. There is no alley behind them, so they have more of a traditional backyard. Okay, now we're going to take a look again at the houses in just a second, but I just wanted to take a minute now to talk about the amenities here at Durham Farms. Now this section right here is Azalea Circle. That right there is actually Lightbridge Academy. We'll show that again later in the video. And this is sort of like the egg-shaped thing that you saw earlier in the video on the map. This is where the farmhouse is at, and this is where a lot of the amenities are located. It's right in that building right there. Now we're walking up to the farmhouse here. Now unfortunately when I came to film this day, they were actually closed on the inside because I guess there was some water damage and they were having some repairs done. But you can see here, this is what the inside of that area looks like. So really cool common area, and you can also see that they have a cafe here as well. Now just around the corner, also in the farmhouse, they have the fitness center. Now I didn't want to go in and film people while they were working out, but we have some shots here, as you can see, of the fitness center and the types of things that they have available for you. I should also note that there are personal trainers that work in this fitness center as well, but they are not included with your HOA, so you got to pay them separately. Okay, so right next to the farmhouse you have the tot lot. This is the local playground, kind of an interesting looking one with the wood theme. There's a lot of fun stuff for kids to do on the grounds of Durham Farms. You have the tot lot here. In a second you'll see there's also a splash pad. There's a really nice community pool and just fun little hangout areas around all of Durham Farms, but also right here behind the farmhouse there's a nice area to hang out with your family, with friends. There's a nice lounging area, there's spots to grill, there's a TV out there for when the game's on, there's foosball, there's cornhole, that kind of stuff going on back here. So it's a nice area to relax with the family and hang out on the weekends or whenever you have spare time. Alright, now this here is Lightbridge Academy that I mentioned earlier. Now this is the daycare that has programs for infants, toddlers, preschool, pre-K, and they have a summer camp as well. Now if you're interested in learning more about Lightbridge Academy, I'll put a link down below in the description so that you can check it out. This here is a shot of the Bark Park. For those of you who have dogs, you can bring them there. And also here's a shot of Maston Park, which is one of the sort of smaller parks that is sort of situated in between rows of homes. Okay, so since we just covered the amenities here at Durham Farms, let's talk about a super fun topic, which is the Homeowners Association fees, otherwise known as HOA fees. So there is a Master Association fee of $286.26 per quarter. Okay, and that covers everything that we just saw with the exception of the Lightbridge Academy, which is the daycare that we saw. That's a completely separate business. But everything else is covered, such as, you know, the maintenance of the pool and the maintenance of the splash pad and the grounds, the common grounds, I should be more specific, around Durham Farms. That's all covered with the Master Association fee. However, if you live in the Lennar Estates Villas, you're going to have an additional $281.50 per month, as well as Goodall Townhomes, which is $178 per month, on top of the Master Association fee. And the reason for that is because you are going to have groundskeepers actually maintaining your lawn, your shrubbery, your trees, and whatnot. They are going to be maintaining that every month. So if you live in one of those two sections, that's going to be an additional fee that you will have to pay. Now, it's important to know these numbers because if you're going to be financing a home, you need to know what the HOA fees are going to cost you, what the mortgage payment itself is going to cost every month, as well as the insurance, so that you know what your monthly payment is actually going to look like, okay? And likewise, if you're going to be paying cash, you need to know that these fees are going to be coming as well. Now, if you are going to be financing your home, you can go to my website, darrenawilson.com. Click on Buy and scroll down to Calculator. This is a mortgage calculator that'll help you figure out what your monthly payment is going to be every month if you purchase a home. And you can also input the HOA fees, the home insurance, and the property tax numbers as well. Now, one last thing that you should be aware of is there is also a one-time working capital contribution fee when you first move in. It's appearing on some of the MLSs as an association transfer fee. I talked to 3 different builders, and I talked to the community manager at Durham Farms as well as the parent company of Durham Farms, and nobody really seemed to understand exactly what the numbers were and where they went, but they're there, and you have to pay them. With Polte, they were as small as $50. With Grandview Homes, it was as large as $700, and again, it was a very confusing conversation that I had with several of these people, and they were sort of like getting all of these numbers in line as I was talking to them, even though that's on the MLS and they're charging people these fees. So this is something to be aware of. Sometimes these things can come up during closing costs as far as being able to be negotiated, but in general, those are sort of hard to get away from. And before we start talking about who's building at Durham Farms, I just wanted to let you guys know some of the builders have a note on their website that says that you don't need to have a real estate agent to represent you in order to purchase a home from them. And while that is 100% true, I am going to go ahead and tell you right now, I highly recommend against that. The reason why is because, guys, even if you don't use me, you need to have some sort of representation in front of the builders and in front of anybody who may be reselling their homes. The reason for that is because sometimes people get into even new builds and there's an issue that they didn't see that pops up 6 months down the road. Maybe it is, or maybe it's not covered by the home warranty. Maybe there's an issue with getting the builder to actually live up to what they have in their warranty, okay, and it just becomes a huge headache and a time sink and a money sink. And you want to know up front that you're not getting into that situation. The best way to do that is to do two things. One, have a realtor, have a real estate agent who's representing you, who's looking at the fine print in the contract. And number two is to have your own home inspector as well, even on a new build. It's super important to protect against issues that may arise once you're actually in the home. Now, if you're worried about what that's going to cost you as a buyer, 99 times out of 100, and this includes all of the builders at Durham Farms as well, the seller is actually the one who pays the buyer's agent commission. So it doesn't usually cost you anything unless you have a situation where the seller is not willing to pay one, but generally speaking, that's not the case. Okay, so who is building at Durham Farms? Well, it's important to know first off that Durham Farms has been around for several years at this point, and a lot of these lots are increasingly filled or about to be filled. So the builders aren't going to be there forever, right? So these new homes are, some of them are slowing down right now. Grandview Homes is one that's actually slowing down. I think they're on their last few lots. Their homes are in the 900s, okay? So they're sort of in the upper echelon of as far as cost goes here at Durham Farms. But we also have Lennar, and Lennar has three different collections. They have the Estates Villas collection, okay? And that was the one that we talked about earlier that comes with the higher HOA fee because actually your lawn and everything is maintained for you, okay? And those are like a townhouse style, okay? Those are in the low 400s. They start in the low 400s. We also have the Classic Parks 1 collection by Lennar, which starts in the mid 500s. Okay, and those are homes. Those are not townhomes. And I actually did a model home walkthrough of the Classic Parks Collection 1 that you can check out up top here. And then we have the Lennar Classic Parks Collection 2, which starts in the mid 600s. Now moving on, another builder that we have here is Pulte. I also did a model home tour of the Pulte home, model home that they have here at Durham Farms. These start in the mid to high 600s. And finally, we have Shell Brothers. And Shell Brothers are custom homes that start in the high 600s. Okay, so last little bit of information before we move on to what's nearby, and that is property taxes. Now, if you know anything about how property taxes are calculated, it's kind of a convoluted thing to explain, so I will spare you that. I do have the numbers up here in the upper right. I'll also put a couple links down below if you want to get more specific on those numbers. But I just also am going to put up here some general numbers for every $100,000 of what your property taxes will look like being in Sumner County inside the city limits of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Okay, so what you're taking a look at here is an outline of the city limits of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Now you'll notice that most of the town is, sort of focused around Drake's Creek here and Main Street, which is right here as well. But Durham Farms is up here in this sort of almost like annexed portion of land. As you can see, that's the center of Durham Farms. That's that egg thing we were looking at earlier. Right outside of this is administered by Sumner County, so it's a Hendersonville mailing address, but it's administered by Sumner County. But right here, you're within the city limits, so that means you're going to be receiving the public garbage pickup, as well as the Hendersonville City Fire and Police Services as well. Okay, now what you're taking a look at here is directions from Durham Farms up here in Hendersonville down to downtown Nashville. Okay, now Durham Farms website says that it takes about 20 minutes to get to downtown Nashville. Well, especially during rush hour and most times of the day. It's probably going to take you at least 30 minutes, if not even maybe 40, to get back home, to get there when it's rush hour. It can definitely get very trafficy in Nashville, so that's something to be aware of. Okay, so now we're taking a look at the directions from Durham Farms to Nashville International Airport, also known as BNA. You're always going to be leaving Durham Farms through Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, whether you're going to downtown Nashville or the International Airport, and you would take that to 65, right? And then you can take that to Briley, which will take you to 40, which takes you to the airport. Okay, so now we're zoomed back in on Durham Farms, and I just wanted to show you guys your options for grocery shopping and just other things to do around Hendersonville. Now, you do have this sort of lone Publix up here. It's about a 10-minute drive away, but there's not really too much other retail around here. However, a better bet would probably be to go either down here to Indian Lake Boulevard or over here to the Glenbrook Center. Now, this is about 10 minutes away, roughly, maybe a little less. This is right here, also about 10 minutes away. If you're trying to go all the way down to Main Street down here, that's about 15 minutes. But over here at Glenbrook, you have your Kroger, you have Target, you have a lot of different retail. You also have restaurants, some of your standard fare type places like your Panera, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks. But there's a lot of retail over here. Okay, now you also have from Durham Farms, you're very close to Indian Lake Boulevard, which is where a lot of the other retail is in Hendersonville. So basically you just take Drakes Creek Road, that turns into Indian Lake Boulevard, which is where most of the retail in Hendersonville is located. You have your Sam's Club, Walmart, there's an Aldi over here, there's a bunch of different restaurants, Lowe's, Home Depot. As you can see, tons of different restaurants and stuff like that. If you go all the way down to Main Street, you have Walgreens, Office Depot, another Publix, another Kroger. So there's lots of shopping over in this area. But up here, right next to the highway, you also have the Streets of Indian Lake. And this place is really nice. It's an outdoor mall. It has like the nicest movie theater in all of the Nashville area. Okay, now I just wanted to take a quick second to talk about schools. Now, as of the recording of this video, Durham Farms is currently zoned for the Burris Elementary School, which is down here, not too far. It's about 5-10 minutes. Knox Doss Drakes Creek Middle School, which is right here. And then the high school is Beech High School up here on Long Hollow Pike. You also have Hendersonville Christian Academy, Pope John Paul II High School, several different private schools in Hendersonville that are available to you. There are also preschools and daycares available as well, including, as I mentioned before, Lightbridge Academy, which is right there in Durham Farms. Something I want to bring to your attention is that all the information in this video is subject to change, and I say that because sometimes school districts change, home values change, builders change, property taxes change, that kind of stuff, so just be aware of that. If you guys are interested in checking out properties at Durham Farms, please reach out to me. You can find my contact information below in the description. You can also go to DarrenAWilson.com. You can search for homes there. You can check out the mortgage calculator, get a market snapshot. You can contact me there as well. I want to say thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you got something out of this. It helps me gauge the types of things that my audience wants to see, and it helps me stay motivated to keep on making stuff like this. So on that note, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.